What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. I go by Daily Refinement Online. Today, we're going to compare two stores. One store that is a part-time couple. They work full-time and they're building their eBay store up on the side. We're going to compare that with my friend Lauren, who does this full-time, and she just started a YouTube channel, so I want to link her channel in the description below, but you can get an idea of the size and inventory difference between someone who's full-time and someone trying to become full-time. So let's go ahead and start with Paul and Heidi. This is their store, Norwood Co. If you guys are looking for a review, we can purchase one on patreon.com/dailyrefinement, but let's get straight into the review. They have 921 items. They are aiming for a $20 ASP right now, and they're working their way up to it. I like how honest they are, because when you're just getting started, it's hard to get your ASP up, and most clothing sells for $12 or less. So in order to get to the $20 range, you really need to start understanding brands, and you're going to notice right away when you're looking through the store that most of the items are around 20 bucks. And in contrast to Lauren's store, she's been doing this a lot longer. She's been doing this probably for a few years at least full time. You can see her average sale price is almost $30, so it's way higher. So with a similar sell-through rate and 1,500 items versus your 1,000, she's probably doing around the 10K mark, which you guys are looking for in sales on eBay. However, she's not only selling just on eBay, which is a recommendation I make in the clothing category. Clothing is sold on tons of categories. There's probably 6 or 7 websites you can sell clothing on, and if you are not cross-listing, you're definitely losing an opportunity to make or to gain that higher traffic, which means a higher sell-through rate. So their goal is to get $10,000 in sales by next year, and to get to 1,000 items by Labor Day weekend. This is the type of couple that's definitely going to make it, because they have specific concrete goals. It's very easy to work with people who know what they want and they have achievable goals. That's only 80 items in the next 2 weeks. Very doable for 2 people. And here's why I have to ask you guys a very specific question, and it's really important. And I want to ask you guys who are listening and watching this online to answer the same question in the comment section below, which is, what type of person are you? Are you a marathon lister, meaning you list a little bit every single day? Or are you a sprinter? An example would be Hustle at Home Mom. My friend Ashley, she has 12 hours a week to get everything done. It is a sprint. It's fast, fast, fast. She drops the kids off at wherever for those 12 hours, and she knocks out the listings quickly. Or if you may be the type of person that lists during their lunch break every single day, 7 days a week. However you organize it, it's important to understand yourself. And in my opinion, you should never list more than 4 times a week. And the reason is because you need time to work on replenishables. I hear this ridiculous advice, which is list every day, which is, do you want to not have a life ever? That's not what I recommend. I don't have to list every day. My sales are almost exactly the same, because over time, over the 3 years that I've been working on this, I've slowly learned some items that I can just keep reordering. I don't have to list anymore, because I already know what they're going to sell for. I already understand the market on these items. If you list every single day, you're not going to have the mental capacity to learn a niche. And that's a trap that a lot of eBay sellers get stuck into. They just list. They never learn a niche. They never become an expert in any field. And they just get stuck into this store for the rest of their life. So that being said, let's go into the 6 things that I review. First thing is titles. Your titles are great. You're including the size. You're using the brand first, which is recommended. I want to clear a urban myth on eBay that the order of your title matters. It doesn't. It only matters when people are scrolling through and they look at your title. It doesn't affect the search ranking. So if you write in the title, excellent, amazing condition, that actually might work in a sense that it might make somebody click on it, but it's not going to affect the search. That's why there are a lot of giant sellers that write words like awesome, amazing, clean in the title, and clearly that does not affect the search ranking. But they know, as humans, as they're scrolling through listings, they may be more likely to click on something that's a little bit more unique. So just want to get rid of that fallacy. I will do another interview with Scott Hamilton. He is one of the people that's in charge of that at eBay. So he wants to get rid of all these myths, like the first 3 words, the first 5 words. It doesn't matter. He says it kind of matters in a sense that sometimes the listings are cut off, so people can only see the first 5 words. So maybe that's why the first 5 words may work better, or just people are lazy and don't read the rest of the title. But as far as the search ranking, it doesn't affect your search. So now let's go to description. Your descriptions are fine. You may want to include a inventory number, and the reason why I mentioned that is if you look in Lauren's listings, there's an inventory number at the bottom which says A29 and the date. If you had that in your listing, what you can do is actually use that to look for on a different website like Poshmark or Mercari. I put my inventory number in the description so that I can search for it on those two websites and use the same terms. That's one of the difficulties with people who cross-list is they don't have an easy way to search for the items. And one super easy way is to have an inventory number inside of here to make it easier to search. So this code right here, the date and the number, hopefully that's not the date of the item when she listed it, because that may make people think that people think that it's an aged item and they might lowball her. But for both of you guys, Lauren and Heidi and Paul, I recommend you guys remove best offer on stuff under 25 bucks. Lauren doesn't have a lot of stuff in her store under 25 bucks, but removing best offer, you don't need best offer when you're selling stuff like this. You can just lower it right to the price that you want. You're going to bump up your sell-through rate just a couple of percent just by doing that. Offering best offer also invites crappy buyers. On items under 30 bucks, they either want it or they don't want it. It is price sensitive. Like, no one's going to make the effort on this Talbot's top and offer you 26 bucks. That's not going to happen. That's not how eBay works. People are going to lowball you and waste your time. And you guys don't have a lot of time right now because you're both working. So I would get rid of best offer, lower the price to exactly what you want to get for it. Let's see now. Okay, and I want to paint you guys the picture a little bit more clearly of what they're looking for. They want to be at $10,000 in sales. I need them to improve their sell-through rate to at least 10%. Ideally more like 20% sell-through rate, which is going to require a little bit lower pricing and getting rid of best offer. So let me give you guys an example. If they had a 10% sell-through rate, which is slightly better than right now, and they could achieve that by just lowering prices a tiny bit, making their pictures brighter. So if you can see here, their pictures are also not square. So if you look at Lauren's photos, she's using the full square, which gives buyers a little bit more idea what the item looks like, versus this is cropped because it's taken probably on a cell phone. So I would switch to the square mode if you can, just to give buyers a little bit bigger view of the item. And then if you can go to a white background and not the floor as well, you're going to get a more professional look, higher rank in Google, because Google will not show your listing eventually in Google Shopping unless it has a white background, because they're trying to create uniformity in the shopping experience. Although that's not always true. That's what they say at their webinars on how to get higher rank. Use the white background so it looks more like a store. That's the main difference. Okay, your store is going to look more like a store when the items are all white. I think when you look at the if you look at the setup between Lauren's store and your store, this to me looks more like a store. You can see here, this is a brick background. People don't normally have that in their house. She's also doing some front back pictures. She also does have some pictures on the floor. There's nothing wrong with that. You can go that route as well. I personally like the look on wood better, but that's not necessarily going to affect your sales that much. I just think it makes you look like a store versus your house. When I look at this store, or your store with a lot of the background being wood, it looks like, and the fact that some photos are square and some are not, and just there's a little, I would put a little bit more effort in the staging the item on some of them. The less wrinkles, the brighter the background contrast, the more it looks like an actual store. And there's a couple things that are required when you do that. If you are an actual store, you probably need to get your prices lower. People expect free shipping, free returns, perfect photos in a store. And those stores are based more on volume. If you're going more the boutique look, you may want to do kind of what Lauren does as far as having a custom hanger. I wonder if you can see it in these photos. You can. So you can see it says Coal City Loot on the hanger, and that's like a boutique feel. I wonder, yeah, you can see this Coal City Loot on this cabby top. So you can see that's a little bit of flair that she put into that. I love that. It gives it a higher perceived value, in my opinion, more of a boutique look. And the older pictures where they're on the floor is probably an older system that she has grown out of. So don't be afraid to grow into a new system as you get more mature in your systems. Okay, so getting to 100,000 listed. This is sort of my pricing breakdown. Spend $4 or less if it sells for $20. Try not to buy anything under $20 and just force yourself to stay strict, because as you grow your store, small but expensive is better than big and cheap. Just trust me on that one. Pay $10 for something that sells for $30. Pay $20 for something that sells for $50, and pay $50 for something that sells for $100. And I want you to notice the margin starts to shrink as you start paying more for items, but that's okay. If you buy something for $50 and sell for $100, even if it's really expensive to ship, you probably make at least $20, and that's awesome. Compared to, for me, buying something for $1 and selling it for $20, and if it's a priority mail thing, still only netting $10, that's a lot of work to only make $10. Once you start selling more expensive stuff, you may not go back to selling the cheap stuff. I would rather have a smaller store and not have to frantically ship a bajillion packages every day, and just keep it small. Between 10 and 40 packages is really comfortable, especially if your average selling prices goes up a little bit. Also, I want to commend you guys on how amazing it is that 2 of you are working on the same store. This is a little bit off topic, but I just want to say there are so many people that message me that are in a single parent situation, or even worse, an abusive home relationship. So just count your lucky stars, everybody who's listening right now. Your situation is probably better than a lot of people, especially if you're watching this on YouTube. So just don't take it for granted. There are so many people in a way worse situation. And for me, that keeps me really grateful and really hungry to do as much as I can every day, because so many people don't have that chance. Okay, off my soapbox. I would say right now, I would guess you guys are between $1,500 and $2,000 a month in sales. So you're going to have to push that sell-through rate. And here's a few more ideas. You can do promoted listings. That's my least favorite, because I feel like it's an extra tax. Don't use promoted listings unless you have to. I would do a combined shipping discount. Right now you're charging for shipping, so I would say like buy 2, second item free shipping. It's only going to cost you a couple bucks more to ship both items. And then also you can remove the best offer option and just say it's required to do buy it now. I'd also do a minimum order. So like $25 or more, free shipping. Something like that to get people to buy 2 things. Okay. Let's see your photos. Again, I would go square. I would go brighter if you can, more uniformity. Looks like you probably switched to a square format recently. I can see in these photos that your light's coming from the top right. You want to get as even lighting as possible. The easiest way to do that is with just like a ring light. That would be the cheapest way to do that. For like $100 or $150, you can get a ring light that's amazing, and just put it not directly on your item, but a little bit higher so that the lighting is even. It's actually probably not going to affect your sales as much as a white background. In my opinion, looks more like a store. So you can move that direction. If you want to look, I have an Amazon link in the description for my supplies. But I recommend kind of that you save your money. Right now, I don't think that's holding you back. I would just use what you have and just spend that money on more inventory to get your store up. Quality inventory should be where most of you guys are spending your money, not on fancy equipment, because you can get down a rabbit hole when you're trying to make your production up. Like you can spend literally hundreds or thousands of dollars making your photos perfect when it only gives you a marginal improvement. Okay, so last thought is product mix. So product mix, I had mentioned that they're starting to get a consignment model built in, and that's my favorite model, guys. That's what I'm moving more towards, because when you have scouts bringing you items, that's the best way to do this, because you can get that time back and use it for something else. This is also the reason why I don't share the stores that I'm doing consignment in, because in my area, the stuff that I am selling is very specific to where I am. I'll give you guys an example, and this is going to work where you live usually. So if you work next to a specific company, okay, I'll give you one of the brands that I look for, even though usually you guys could probably find some of my stores just from this one brand, but PG&E. PG&E is a electric company, right? And I Actually, you may not know that, but here it's called Pacific Gas and Electric, I believe. And their workwear is common. You can find it thrifting here all the time, but it sells for between $30 and $75 because people wear it to work. It's like workwear. And this is one of the reasons why my photographer slash thrifter, James, doesn't want to be on my videos, because he doesn't want to be recognized. He's going to a very specific route to look for things for my store. He is working the consignment model for me. Okay, so you kind of want to keep those close to you, like if you are in an area where it's highly competitive, like in California. So for me, probably now PG&E is dead, because if 10 people look for that brand here, it's going to be difficult to find. So that being said, if you are setting up a commercial consignment, then it doesn't matter. Okay, then you can be like Matt, who in the previous comparison video, I showed the store Lux Swap, and they do $100,000 a month in 100% consignment. In that store, it makes sense because he's doing marketing on Instagram. He's pushing it. He's doing marketing in New York City to get that good stuff to come to him. Then it makes sense, right? But if you are a small operation, I would say don't tell people if you're looking for specific stuff in your city and there are only certain stores. So for me, I'm always looking for niches, and that is so key because I don't want to list every day forever. Okay, there are some people who want to do that, but that's not the case for me. I want a really small eBay store, very specific stuff that I'm looking for. Keep hitting it hard. When it dries up, that's okay, because we're still looking for different places in the market. And for me, that's also fun. Okay, so I like looking for things that sell for a lot of money, like a vintage polar bear cookie jar, right? That kind of stuff is interesting to me. There's more to life than just selling, you know, the generic garlic peeler for $14 on Amazon that you pay $8 for, and you make $1.30 on each one. That's like kind of a boring existence to me. It's more interesting to try to sell something, you know, a rare German garlic peeler that, you know, the guy who made them was a really cool war veteran or something. That's just me, and that keeps it fun. So I hope you guys appreciate this video. If you want a review or you want to join my group, patreon.com/dailyrefinement. Also, all these tips are basically free. All of this information is free. Okay, so there's no course or thing that you can buy online that's gonna replace actually doing the work. So I just want to point out one more thing. I was kind of harsh towards people who are like talk about passion. Chris, it's all about passion. Kind of, and somebody clarified it for me. It's all about repetition. So my new saying is repetition over passion. And they were just saying, Chris, passion just helps you do the repetition. That's it. You still have to do the repetition, but if you like it, it just doesn't feel like work. That's really the main difference. And I think that that's really true. Also, I made a comment saying that people who are 40 or old, I'm just being facetious, like I'm almost there. So I just don't want to be left behind. They say that adults don't learn unless it's traumatic. So I'm trying to shock you guys into doing something more active. I just don't want you to become complacent. It's not actually your age. It's what I actually don't like is not the age. It's the entitlement that people have as they get older, like somebody owes them something. And I don't think that's the case. If you are a 100-year-old establishment and you start slipping on your customer service and you start doing a poor job, I hope that your business goes down. Okay, that's just me. I want everyone to deliver a consistent experience over and over again. That's what I'm trying to do with my channel, right? Just really put a lot of work in the 10 minutes of good stuff for you guys, so you can just tune in, learn something, and go back to your regular life. So hope you guys appreciate it. If you want to support the channel, you can pick up my reseller field guide on my website, dailyrefinement.com. It's normally $70, but you can use the code THANKS and I'll give you half off, so I'll make it $35. And that helps me keep making these videos because it's really time consuming. I know it sounds like it's not, but it is. So I appreciate you guys' time. See you on the next show.
Love life, live it like we appreciate it. Think smart, drink smarter, play